I saw my wife, Diana, restrained with handcuffs on our own land by police who trusted a stranger's word over the legal deed we held. There I was, powerless as a child, watching as Diana's wrists were bound with zip ties while this woman, a total menace named Lorraine, recorded it all on her phone like she was capturing a triumph. The sharp sound of those handcuffs locking still echoes in my mind. Diana's bewildered tears merged with my frozen anger as neighbors gawked from their porches, treating us like a midday spectacle. Lorraine stood smugly, brandishing a fake HOA violation notice that held as much legitimacy as her self-proclaimed authority. Our legal papers, proof of our rightful ownership, fluttered across our driveway in the morning breeze like debris from a ruined party. What would you do if someone convinced law enforcement you were illegally on your own property? Share your wildest HOA horror stories below, and let me know where you're tuning in from, because this lakefront battle is about to escalate. I'm Marcus, 52, and I thought I'd finally earned some peace. For 30 years, I worked as an electrician, crawling through attics and solving other people's messes while my spine begged for relief. Diana, my 48-year-old wife, manages numbers like a grandmaster plays chess. We saved every penny for 15 years to buy our dream retreat. Whispering Pines Lake, 2 hours north of the city, smells of pine instead of car fumes and shattered hopes. We found a perfect 1.2-acre plot with a 1970s cabin that needed work but had good bones. A place where loons sing at dawn instead of sirens piercing the night. Our realtor, sweet as sugar, warned that some neighbors were particular. She should have clarified that particular meant downright deranged. 2 weeks into owning our property, I'm stacking firewood when a voice slices through my comm like a blade. Are you the new owners? I turn to see a woman gripping a clipboard as if it's a sacred relic, a measuring tape slung around her neck like a badge of suburban honor, and a grin that screams trouble. I'm Lorraine Kessler, Community Standards Coordinator for the Whispering Pines Lake Homeowners Association. The scent of fresh sawdust mingled with lake air and a sharp, chemical whiff that irritated my nose. Later, I'd peg it as Lorraine's signature scent, Eau de Chaos. She rattled off complaints like a judge sentencing a felon wrong gate color, boat dock breaching setback rules, firewood stacking ruining, visual harmony. And my favorite, our mailbox committing aggressive nonconformance. She demanded $350 in immediate fines plus $75 monthly dues. Diana stepped onto the porch, dish towel in hand, looking like she was facing a bizarre nightmare. We didn't see any HOA in our closing papers, she said. Lorraine's smile turned predatory. Sweetie, you urban types don't grasp how we uphold community standards to protect property values. The way she sneered urban types made my jaw clench. Diana grew up in a tiny farming town, not some city skyscraper. 2 days later, Lorraine returned with reinforcements. Tyler, her 30-something compliance officer, who looked like he'd never touched anything tougher than a smartphone, but wore a badge like he was Secret Service. Tyler snapped photos of our property with the focus of a forensic analyst. Our dock, our offensive gate, even our truck's parking spot on our own land. They slapped a formal-looking, final notice under our windshield wiper, complete with letterhead and threats to repaint our gate by Friday or face harsher penalties. I may be just an electrician, but 30 years dealing with contractors taught me to spot scams from miles away. That evening, I noticed identical notices flapping on 6 other properties like surrender flags. Diana powered up her laptop, her eyes gleaming with the look that spells doom for someone. County records show no registered HOA, she declared, fingers racing across the keys. I called Betty, the previous owner, who sighed. Oh, honey, Lorraine's been bullying people for 3 years. Most just pay her to stop. Diana, already steps ahead, found Lorraine's LLC paperwork, filed but never registered as a legitimate HOA. This woman was running a blatant extortion scheme. That night, our well water tasted sharper, but beneath it was the flavor of a battle we were determined to win. Diana doesn't back down. The next morning, she stormed into town and returned with a bank-grade electronic keypad lock for our gate. If this lunatic wants to play, we'll record her every move, Diana said, installing security cameras. She posted laminated, private property signs every 50 feet, each one legally ironclad. Then came her evidence notebook, a spiral-bound monument to human absurdity that would make any lawyer weep with joy. The smell of fresh ink mixed with morning coffee as Diana cataloged everything with the precision of her old forensic accounting days. Lorraine didn't know she'd picked a fight with someone who could track a nickel through a money laundering scheme. 3 days later, Lorraine arrived with bolt cutters. I was fixing a light fixture when Diana's voice cut through the air. Mom, leave our property now, or I'm calling the cops. Peering out, I saw Lorraine trying to cut our new lock while Tyler filmed like they were shooting a low-budget crime flick. This gate blocks emergency access, Lorraine proclaimed to Diana's camera, oozing delusional confidence. The HOA has easement rights. Diana didn't flinch. Show me the easement document. Lorraine produced a briefcase of fake bylaws, fabricated covenants, and forged signatures. Documents that might fool someone with a concussion. But then her scheme hit reality. 20 minutes later, a sheriff's car rolled up. Deputy Craig, looking like he'd rather wrestle snakes, said, "Mom, I've got to report you're illegally clearing community property and blocking emergency access." Diana calmly handed over our deed, title insurance, survey, and tax records. Lorraine, fumbling through her folder of lies, presented her OA master deed, claiming it gave her supreme authority. "Officer, these people are squatters endangering community safety," she declared, believing her own fiction. I nearly lost it, ready to confront Lorraine, but Diana's firm grip stopped me. "Marcus, record, don't react," she said, her voice steady despite trembling fingers. Deputy Craig, no real estate expert, could still tell legitimate records from Lorraine's homemade forgeries. "Ma'am," he told Lorraine, whose face was turning volcanic, "these folks have clear title. They can secure their property as they please." Lorraine's expression morphed into a mix of fury and wounded pride. "This community has standards," she shrieked, clutching her fake papers like a failed magician. "You people don't understand civilized living." She stormed off with Tyler trailing, shooting us a glare that promised more trouble. Lorraine's first big mistake. Diana recorded the entire encounter, capturing her attempted vandalism and Craig's confirmation of our rights. Later, Diana filed harassment complaints and learned Deputy Craig was Lorraine's nephew. Talk about a conflict of interest. That evening, Mrs. Kowalski, a nervous septuagenarian, shuffled over during our barbecue. "Be careful," she whispered, glancing at her house. "Lorraine's driven out 3 families. The Hendersons paid her $2,000 to stop the torment." The taste of grilled burgers soared in my mouth. We'd bought paradise but stumbled into a war with the neighborhood mob boss. Lorraine's next move was straight out of a villain's playbook: cut off your enemy's lifelines. Monday, our power went out. Not from a storm, but a deliberate shutoff after a concerned citizen claimed we were stealing electricity. Tuesday, the water district showed up, suspicious about our illegal well. Wednesday, the health department arrived, probing our septic system for alleged public health risks. Each visit drained our time, money, and sanity while Lorraine watched from her deck across the lake, binoculars in hand like a twisted wildlife observer. Diana, with the ferocity of her old embezzlement, hunting days, dug into county records and found Lorraine had weaponized bureaucracy against others. The Hendersons endured 6 months of utility harassment before paying her off. The elderly Petroskis lost power for 3 days in a heat wave because Lorraine claimed their medical equipment overloaded circuits. The Johnsons, a retired couple, sold their dream home at a $30,000 loss to escape her reign of terror. The pattern was undeniable systematic harassment to break spirits and wallets. Thursday, at Henderson's Hardware, Lorraine's boyfriend, Jim, appeared beside me like a bad omen. "Your wife's stirring up trouble," he said, eyeing paint cans like they held secrets. "Nobody wants problems. Lorraine's just protecting standards." The smell of sawdust and WD-40 filled the air as customers pretended not to eavesdrop. "You mean like filing fake complaints and terrorizing seniors?" I shot back, loud enough for the store to hear. Jim's smile turned menacing. "Accidents happen, Marcus. Docks collapse. Boats leak. Septic systems fail. Wouldn't want that for you." His threat, overheard by store owner Pete Martinez, was a gift to our case. Diana taught me that criminals eventually self-destruct if you let them talk. That night, our kitchen became a war room, with spreadsheets tracking every incident, photos of Lorraine's forged documents. Diana uncovered that real HOAs require costly legal filings, none of which Lorraine had. Her biggest slip: her own property had a failing septic system for 18 months, polluting the groundwater she accused others of tainting. The metallic taste in our well water suddenly made sense. Time to enforce some real standards, Diana said, her smile razor sharp. The loons' calls sounded like battle cries across the lake. Labor Day weekend, we invited Mrs. Kowalski and the Hendersons for a barbecue to build alliances. "We've paid Lorraine $750 in fake dues," Henderson admitted, watching the lake glow gold at sunset. "We were too scared to fight." Kowalski nodded, clutching her coffee mug. "She threatened to report my late husband's workshop as hazardous unless I paid $50 monthly. The charcoal smoke mixed with the scent of unity taking root. We'd pulled proper fire permits, unlike Lorraine's fake rules. As flames crackled, we shared stories and plotted our counterstrike. At 9 p.m., Lorraine appeared with Tyler and her sister Brenda, a woman who looked like she thrived on chaos. "This gathering violates noise ordinances," Lorraine declared, waving another fake document. That fire endangers nearby homes. Tyler photographed our legal bonfire while Brenda scribbled notes like she was at a witch trial. We have permits, Diana said, producing the county fire permit. Lorraine's face turned furious shades of purple before she retreated, muttering about escalated enforcement. It should have ended there. But at 2 a.m., Diana woke me. Marcus, I smell smoke. I bolted up, trained by years of electrical work to dread that scent. Through our window, flames danced 30 yards from our dock, fed by gasoline's acrid stench. Diana called 911 while I hosed down everything nearby. The fire spread too fast for a natural blaze. The fire department arrived in 8 minutes, and Fire Marshal Rodriguez confirmed arson. Gasoline pour patterns, he said. Someone wanted this to spread. Our cameras caught a figure fleeing toward Lorraine's side of the lake, suspiciously Tyler-shaped. Pete Martinez later told detectives Tyler bought a gas can the previous day, claiming it was for a generator. Lorraine's plan backfired spectacularly. The fire united our neighbors. Mrs. Kowalski admitted Lorraine threatened to burn her shed. The Hendersons revealed paying $3,000 in extortion. Petrov showed medical bills from stress, induced heart issues caused by Lorraine's harassment. Diana created a WhatsApp group for 8 families, growing stronger. She researched criminal penalties for impersonating authority. Up to 5 years in prison for fraud. Lorraine's attacks could trigger federal racketeering charges. The lingering smoke tasted like justice nearing. Diana went full forensic mode post-fire, demanding Lorraine's HOA financial records. Lorraine sent a manila envelope with fake spreadsheets claiming $32,000 in reserves. Diana spotted the lie: the math only worked if families paid uneven dues. Illegal for HOAs. Bank records showed just 80-47, with Lorraine's personal withdrawals for cars and groceries. Diana found Lorraine's 2018 conviction for a similar scam in Jefferson County. She's a serial fraudster, Diana said, printing court records. Our insurance company confirmed we'd overpaid $400 yearly due to Lorraine's fake HOA claims, opening avenues for insurance and mail fraud charges. That evening, Diana hosted 10 families in our cabin. The total damage: a $15,000 in fake dues, thousands in expenses, and immense emotional toll. We're not victims anymore, Diana declared. We're prosecutors. Our basement became a command center, with charts mapping Lorraine's crimes. We hired Sarah Chen, a real estate attorney who loved crushing scams. This is a prosecutor's dream, Sarah said, reviewing our evidence. The plan: criminal charges for fraud, federal mail fraud complaints, and a civil right-to lawsuit. Lorraine's next moves were desperate. She pressured allies, threatening Mrs. Kowalski with false accessory charges and the Hendersons with perjury. 3 families caved, but Lorraine's biggest blunder was offering me $5,000 to drop the case. Make the violations disappear, she said on my recorded phone app. She admitted the charges were fake. Lorraine then launched a smear campaign, spreading lies about Diana's mental health and my violent past. She tried to get Diana fired and our water shut off. Tyler's vandalism, slashing tires, spray painting mailboxes, escalated, but our cameras caught it all. When Lorraine learned of our county commissioner meeting, she filed a baseless restraining order, which Judge Henderson dismissed in 12 minutes. At the meeting, Diana presented our case: fake documents, bank records, medical impacts, and Lorraine's recorded bribe. Lorraine's public meltdown, ranting about community standards, was broadcast live. Commissioner Walsh ordered criminal charges and a fraud hotline. 6 months later, Lorraine pleaded guilty to 17 felonies, getting 4 years in prison and $15,000 in restitution. Tyler got probation. Jim vanished. We recovered $8,000 in overpaid insurance and lawsuit damages. Our community healed with monthly dinners and volunteer projects. Diana became a fraud-fighting advocate and I started a YouTube channel, Lake Life DIY. County laws now protect against fake HOAs, and our Justice Fund helps others fight fraud. Lorraine's house sits empty, but our lake sings with loons and freedom. Share your HOA horror stories below and subscribe for more tales of battling petty tyrants. Next week, my neighbor tried to steal my driveway with a bulldozer. Thanks for joining us on HOA Stories, where Karens meet their match.